Just to begin by just saying, thank you so much for coming along today. We'll get into the formalities shortly, but BAMBA was fortunate enough to be recognised as a charity in December 2024. So we're just coming up to our first anniversary. And it's really important, whether we are or we aren't a charity, to continue to reach out to our members and create this space to bring people together. Whether it's that you're here to hear about the things that BAMBA have been up to for the last 12 months, or maybe you're interested in the next steps of our journey for the next 12 months, but also for you to be here in this space together and have the opportunity to talk with like-minded people. So it's really great to have you all here. Back in July this year, we had the affiliate teacher training organisations together as well to do something very similar to the session that we're going to run today. And it's really great to see some of you here too, and returning for this session. Really appreciate you coming back to this space. So thanks for being here. So look, without any further delay, I'm going to hand over to Sophie, who is our trustee chair at BAMBA, to do a brief introduction and just to hold a practice for us for a few moments. Thanks, Sophie.
Yeah, thanks, Steph. I was just thinking the same, like so many faces from so many different, times and walks of life within this work. It's really lovely to see you all. Thanks for making the time to come today. Should we start with a brief practice? I'm sure we've all come from very different days so far. I know I've just landed back from a quick dash to the school to pick my teenage son up who's not feeling well. So I'm sure there's similar and very different mornings for everyone here. Yeah, different time zones. So just recognizing any sort of resonance from your day so far. We can just take a few moments just to stop, to land. And as we do this, we might choose to close the eyes. We might just take a moment to check in and notice, yeah, what is here? How are things for me in this moment? And as we know, we don't have to be any particular way to be here in this session. We might be busy or tired or frustrated or calm and clear. So as much as feels possible, we can just welcome all of ourselves. Pleasant bits, the unpleasant bits, the bits we want to be like, the bits we don't want to be like. There's space for all of it here. Gently inviting the attention to rest on an anchor to the present moment. So maybe that's the breath for you, or the feet, or the hands in the lap, or maybe the weight of the body on the chair. Maybe that feels like quite a straightforward thing to do for you right now, or perhaps it's a little bit trickier, a bit more difficult, a bit more going on. So we can just have a lightness around it. Just as and when it's possible, noticing the breath or the feet or the seat. Just allowing, just letting things be, however they are. And then maybe choosing if you like to broaden the awareness out. So some sense of the anchor and then just some spaciousness around that. Just open to all that it is to be here now. You might even like to just let go of any effort and just do nothing for a few moments. There's nothing to do, we can just be. And then doing whatever you need in your own time to begin to transition out of the practice. Mm. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie.
Mm. Yeah, just really recognizing like all of the commitment and energy that everyone's bringing to come here today. It's so lovely to see so many faces that I know and also a few new faces. Been engaged in lots of work over the last 12 months, as many of you know. Many of you have all been doing this work together with BAMBA, with this sort of shared heart around really holding on to what's precious about this work that we all do and making sure it's going out into the world in ways that really uphold the integrity and serve the world and reach the potential that mindfulness has to bring into this world, while also making sure we're not holding too tightly and we're making it available and practically relevant, and so all of that, all of the wonderings that that sort of balance brings have really been at the heart of the work that Steph will be talking about, and I'm sure the heart of your work too. So it's really lovely to be connecting. Thank you. Thanks, Steph.
Thanks, Sophie. That was lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah, great introduction. And thanks again for everybody that's here and those that might have just arrived. I won't make a huge assumption, but just to let everybody know that I'm Steph, that Sophie's just introduced. I'm the director for BAMBA. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to just get Sally to give us a wave. And Sally Singleton is our register manager, as well as our events manager and administrator, in terms of just coordinating the operation on the ground most days. So a huge thanks to Sally for all of your energy and efforts that go into the work that takes place every day at BAMBA. We really appreciate you. So yeah, I'll just give you a quick overview of how we'll spend some time today, if that's okay. So we'll bring you up to speed with all of the wonderful things that have gone on at BAMBA over the last 8 to 12 months, what we've been up to since receiving charity status in December 2024. But I'll also have the opportunity today to talk to you a bit about some of the things that are coming down the track, and just interest you in that. Sally is going to also give us a bit of an update around register activity, events management, and so on. And we will have the opportunity to take any questions that might come our way, the best that we can. Um, The other thing that we'd really like to do today is just give the opportunity to just hold space for everyone. And in doing so, potentially look to bring you into smaller groups and create some conversation, some dialogue between you on one of three topics. But if none of those topics suit you, then you can choose whatever you like to talk about, hopefully with regards to your work in the field and your relationship with BAMBA, or maybe what it is that you want to see from us as we go forward. So we'll have some space and some time for you to get involved in that and network a little bit in smaller groups with like-minded people. So I hope that helps you. I've noticed in the chat that some people might need to leave early. That's absolutely fine too. Feel free to do whatever it is that you need to do. Cameras on, cameras off, moving about, getting yourself a drink of water, having a rest break, whatever it is that you need to support yourself for the rest of this session, which will finish no later than 1:30. Okay. So let me share something with you to begin. Okay, can everybody see a screen that just is green with Annual Gathering 2025 written on it? Everybody see that?
We've still got the it's not show slide yet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's it.
Thank you very much. Great. Good. Okay, so I've just got to wait a second because the slides will slow down now for me to be able to shift it onto the next one. Okay, so I've talked through the agenda already, but let me just introduce you to our trustees. Sophie Sansom, who led the practice earlier in the session, is our trustee chair. Thank you for everything that you bring to BAMBA and for being here today, Sophie. We really appreciate it. And then the other four trustees that we have working with us at the moment is Pete Anthem, who takes a lead role and a major role in helping us to look after our finances, balance our books, report to HMRC and charity governance. We have Jem Shackelford, who is very deeply connected to the academic side of mindfulness, as well as having a keen interest in youth and education. We have Chika Okorafor, and Chika the same has a really keen interest in youth and education, but also a long-term practitioner, as is Jem. And then Mari Thorman, who joined the team in April this year, and Mari brings with her a wealth of expertise around design and delivery, and also leads the charge, leads the programme for HSBC Bank at a global level. So we've got, including Sophie, obviously, we've got a suite of very capable trustees that have actually been with us for some time. Pete now coming into his third year, Jem coming into the fourth, Chika coming into the end of their first year, and then Mari, as I said, from April. And Sophie, you've been with us good 18 months now. So yeah, thanks again for everything that you're all doing to support BAMBA's work. So let me talk briefly about the work that we've done so far. So some of you will be aware of some of this detail, but we have completed a quality assessment programme of our affiliate teacher training organisation. Some of you are here today and you took part in that, so thank you. And that quality assessment process, that programme, was really taking the opportunity to pause and work closely in collaboration, engaging with our affiliate teacher training organisations to look at the quality of delivery of programmes, approaches and curricula through their teacher training. So all of our teacher training organisations joined forces with BAMBA to complete this piece of work, and it was hugely successful. And we completed that work in January this year. And what that does not only for the affiliate teacher training organisations and BAMBA, but also for our members and those that are looking to get into teaching, deepen their maybe their connection to mindfulness through teaching others, or even in the future supervising others. What this does is it really helps to elevate that work in a way where publicly we can really talk about those affiliate organisations and how they are working with BAMBA to achieve and adhere to good practice, working with integrity, with an ethical approach and meeting standards. So really important piece of work, particularly as we go forward and we start to raise the bar, I guess, a little bit on some of that deeper work that BAMBA is doing every day to ensure quality, safety and efficacy is at the front of the work that we do. So thanks to the organisations that are on the session today for taking part in that. It's a hugely successful piece of work. The second thing as well, and Sally might talk to this later, is workplace research. So we completed our workplace research that took us about 13, 14 months to complete. It was both a quantitative and qualitative piece of research that we had two great researchers, analytic members that came into the team and actually helped us to understand the current state, or the as-is state, let's say, of mindfulness in the workplace. And what's really important, there's two things actually, amongst many. If you want to look at that workplace research paper, that's available via the website. So please do, if that's something that interests you, if you are looking to navigate the workplace in terms of teaching and supporting workplaces, have a look at that report. There's some fantastic insights and findings in there. But really importantly, it actually helped us to shape the future of our BAMBA Community Hub. So we moved away from the Mindful Workplace community in April 2025 and we launched the BAMBA Community Hub, because what we found from the workplace, and one of the key things, was that actually we needed to be a lot more diverse in our offerings in terms of events and CPD opportunities to bring our members together. And for those that might have been involved in some of those events that we now hold monthly, so we have a minimum of 12 events per year. Our calendar for 2026 is looking really great already, and Sally will talk to that. But actually, there are some months that we have more than one event. So we'll have a networking event and maybe a more CPD-led event that might be specifically looking at a specific area of focus. But this research, coming back to the reason that we did it, it really helped us to shape the way that we lead events at BAMBA, and what type of events that we put on, who the audience is, what do they need, and that will continue to evolve over the next year or two as we kind of galvanise the energy of our members behind that and really listen to what it is that people are looking for and what they need from BAMBA events, CPD events, and otherwise. And then one other completed project for this year is the launch of our EDI advisory board, and I'm going to talk to that in a bit more detail in a second. But this was an evolution of our EDI community that was launched in April 2024, and a year later we have launched the EDI advisory board, which was around about summertime this year. But let me talk to that in a bit more detail. So our EDI projects. So the EDI strategy is available on the website for those that would like to have a look at that. You can see really clearly from the strategy what it is that we're delivering on, how we're proving some successes in the spaces around the strategy. But we're also looking at things like registered diversification, how do we broaden the register, accessibility as part of our overarching policy, and increasing public awareness around EDI, integration into mindfulness practice and teaching. So if you were to look at the strategy that's available on our website, you would see a lot of that coming to life, either work that we've done, we're doing, or we're about to do. As I said, the advisory board formed as an evolution of the EDI task force, which was established in April 24, and the advisory board is made up of 5 members that come from very diverse backgrounds and experiences within the field of mindfulness. What I would say is that these guys have come together so far on 2 pretty significant occasions, and what I mean by that is that we've had them in a kind of workshop environment, looking at ideas, innovation within BAMBA, and really leaning in to the EDI advisory board from a place of early engagement, so we can really get their view on maybe some of the ideas or innovations that might be arising, and how we, from the get-go, ensure as best as we possibly can that our strategy around EDI is embedded within any approach to any new projects or ideas, but also that it really does lean into BAMBA's values. And then again, continuing around EDI, funding applications. So we've been looking at and working with 7 different funders so that we can find a way to make sure that this type of work is it's done as business as usual, but in a way that is supporting strategy execution in a ring-fenced project way. So it's safe and it's held in a space where it's of equal importance with the other work that we might be doing, and that over time it starts to become integrated into BAMBA's kind of business as usual approach to any projects or ongoing programs or change innovation or ideas. And then finally, we talked a little bit about events already, but we've got a full schedule of events planned for 2026. Sally will talk to that in a second. But the EDI leaning here is that we've had some fantastic feedback from people that have been coming to events, but also from members as well, that has really pointed us in this direction of wanting more opportunity to look more closely at topics like neurodiversity, trauma-informed practice teaching, and LGBTQ plus spaces. So this EDI piece is, I guess, in the round, is just to bring to you today to show you this is how much work is taking place within the EDI work that we do, but also being led by the task force, and then my overseeing that from the perspective of the director role. So I'll just talk briefly about ongoing projects, so things that are coming and things that have been happening but haven't landed yet. So the widening access piece. So we are nearly at the point of completion where we have looked at and found ways to widen access to the BAMBA register, recognising listed teachers through a curricula, for instance, traditional 8-week programme pathways, looking at programmes, approaches that meet good practice guidelines and that have been recognised by the International Panel for Acknowledgement of Mindfulness-Based Programmes and BAMBA in terms of quality assessment. So you're going to see some more happening around that in the early part of 2026, certainly in Q1. The second piece of work that we've done, a long-term project that has taken 12 months, which has now come to fruition, is the review, the review of supervision. Now, just to be really clear on this, nothing is changing fundamentally, but what we're looking to try and achieve here is this sense of deepening awareness and engagement and education around supervision, around why it's really important, and to really draw out some of the elements of importance, the practical part of applying ourselves to supervision in terms of frequency and efficacy and safety. So really looking at supervision, elevating it through that lens of education and engagement. So a full review of the approach to supervision has been completed. We've done that in collaboration with the Mindfulness Network, which is an organisation that has been deeply embedded into supervision framework for many years. And other working group participants from the field, some of you are here today. So we're hoping now that that comms plan, it is already starting to shape, but that we'll be in a position to deliver those great changes, that real depth of education and elevation around supervision in the early part of 2026. And then I've talked a bit about CPD events, so I'm not going to talk any more to that, but actually hand over to Sally to talk and take over here about register membership and events. Thanks, Sally.
Thanks, Steph. And thanks for introducing me earlier. Yes, I'm Sally Singleton and I'm responsible for the register and also for running the events. So if we just talk about the register at first. So over the past year, one of our big focuses has been improving the renewal and application process. So if any of you have done your renewal in the last few months, you'll notice that there's been some quite big changes. We really wanted to make the experience feel a lot more simpler and clearer and more supportive, really. So we took a deep dive into the whole renewal process and made some big changes, and lots of small significant tweaks as well. And the aim really was to make the renewals like just quicker and easier, because they were taking quite a long time, I think, for people to complete. And we've had some really good feedback so far. And it all runs much more smoothly. It's a lot clearer about what you need to do if anything's been missed or not saved, for example. And the good thing is that these changes have made a difference at the user end, but also into our internal processes as well. So we can turn applications around much more quickly than we could before. Our register panel has been active as well. We come together every 6 weeks, every month. We review applications that fall outside of the usual pattern, and we're currently inviting expressions of interest if anybody would like to be a part of the register panel, willing to contribute. It's a really important aspect of the work, so feel free to just email me at register@bamba.org.uk. Yes, I think that's it for register. So events. I think Steph's already touched on this already, but I'll kind of explain what happened from my perspective. I suppose in January this year, we made some quite significant changes to our mindful workplace community. We moved away from Mighty Networks, which was like an app, and brought our communications to more accessible channels. So you've probably received a lot more emails from us. You might have seen more of us on social media, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. We just wanted to make the communications easier to access and more inclusive and visible to a wider community, and not just about workplace. So shortly after that, we launched the BAMBA Community Hub, which Steph mentioned, and it really has allowed us to expand our CPD offering further. So we're not just doing events around workplace, we're doing teacher development, lots of EDI that's been mentioned, teacher networking, and of course we've kept up with the workplace mindfulness as well. And we've also set up a closed LinkedIn group for teacher networking, where we post updates, but also teachers can post questions and share information. And I'll pop that link in the chat shortly. Attendance at the events has been really good this past year. It's more than doubled, and sometimes it's tripled. And I think this is a really good sign that we're offering something that's really meaningful for our members in terms of what people are looking for with the CPD. And what's really helped with the success of that is the calibre of our speakers. They're well informed, they're experienced, and they're skilled in their expertise. And every session that they deliver is grounded in mindfulness. It's aligned with BAMBA values, and it's designed to offer meaningful learning. And to support this, we now have a clear speaker selection policy in place. This ensures that every event contributes to our charitable purpose and meets our high standards of quality, integrity, and inclusivity. We're always looking to understand the needs of our members. So if there are gaps in your knowledge, skills, CPD, we're always open to hearing about that so that we can potentially help. Steph's already mentioned that we have quite a full diary already for 2026, which is great. We've got some great events coming up. We've got a teacher networking event on the 9th of December. We have neurodiversity for mindfulness teachers, an introduction in January. Navigating AI in mindfulness field. We've got exploring MBI TAC in contemporary mindfulness teaching. So that's looking at sort of the MBI TAC as an assessment tool, but also how can that be used to support your teaching. And we've got Rahina Harilal back with Making Mindfulness Safer, Part 2. So there's lots to look forward to. As I say, I'll pop a couple of links for the next couple in the chat. But if you have any questions, please feel free to come back to me. But just before I go, if you're looking for any events at all, you can always find them all on our website under, I think, news and resources, and then click down on events and everything's there. I think that's it from me, Steph.
Thanks, Sally. That's wonderful. So yeah, we've got an opportunity to pause now, and for Sophie, myself, or Sally to maybe take this moment for any questions that might be arising. You can either raise your hand physically, raise your hand on the Zoom hand, or you can pop something in the chat. Whatever you feel most comfortable with, please feel free to do that. We'll just leave some space. Thanks, Tor, for kicking us off. Go for it.
Just have to hope that nobody knocks on the door, because the dog's in
Don't worry.
a weird place today, so I'll try my best to do it quickly. It's a question I often ask Steph and the board as well. about making the CPD sessions a bit more accessible. So, as most of us know, you can't earn a living from teaching mindfulness. With my best intention, I've been trying since 2013, but I have always had to have a job alongside of it, as Steph well knows. So yeah, during the week it's very difficult, like midday during the week it's very difficult to be able to attend any CPD. And I'm wondering if any other working mindfulness teachers find that too, and if there could be an opportunity to kind of play around with them a little bit, move them around a little bit, just to make them a bit more accessible. So you might not be able to still make every one of them, but occasionally you might make one or two of them, and that would be really helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good feedback. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I feel like I need to respond, but I can't say a yes or a no. I think it's a great bit of feedback, and it's something that we should certainly look at. And interestingly, there's been a conversation that I've had, this mirrors this a little bit actually, Tor. I've had a conversation recently with the group that have supported BAMBA with the supervision repositioning, let's call it, the elevation of, the re-education of, and we were only talking yesterday about doing a daytime and an evening, so a mirroring opportunity so that we could get as many people there as possible. And maybe that's something that, yeah, you're right, that do we need to look at that with regards to the events that we put on. So thank you for that, because
Thank you.
we offer the events on a recording, but I know it's not quite the same. It's not the same, is it, as being there and having the opportunity to be in a room and talk about stuff and, you know, be with like-minded people a bit like today. It's not the same. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mary, thank you.
In relation to that, if I have enough warning, I can put it into the diary and book it off. So I don't know how much notice you give for your events. I know it depends on getting the speaker and everything, doesn't it? But the more time I have to book it in, the better.
Sally might be able to take that one. What's our lead time? 6 weeks?
Generally, what happens is we will kind of launch it, I suppose, a month before the event. However, we've often got these organised quite a long time before that. So if you're a little bit more, if at the bottom of each of the emails that we send, there is like a list of all the ones that we have got organised. And also you can have a look at the website to see what's coming up as well. But yeah, I appreciate that sometimes you need quite a long lead, don't you, so that you can put things in the diary. Yeah, I think that's kind of, I suppose, I mean, what would be helpful? Would it be helpful to have more communication of them in advance?
Well, it's up to us to look, isn't it, and plan. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know 3 months or 2 months. 1 month is often not enough for me.
Right.
No.
The thing is, Mary, we could probably do that now. So we could probably tell you what's happening in December, January, February, and March. There's a risk that actually it's very unlikely, but there's always a tiny little risk that the date might shift just slightly for some reason or another. But we could easily talk about what's in December, January, February, March, and the titles and the people that are going to be speaking for us. So maybe, Sally, that's something for us to take away. Do we need to, do a bulletin every 3 months that says this is the next 3 months worth of activity, if that's helpful for others as well, I'm sure.
Thank you, Steph.
No, not at all. I think it's a great idea. Thank you. Okay, yes, we've got somebody else voting for some type of bulletin with an update of events, Sally. So we'll put that on our to-do list. Okay. Well, I'm sure that yeah, thank you, Julia. Yeah, I wonder as well, yeah, so CPD events sound really relevant and interesting. Yeah. I mean, we talked a bit to this earlier. Sally was framing this whole kind of how have we got to this place with regards to events, and everything that we do is definitely insight and research led. So, you know, in July, we had an amazing speaker, Rahina Harilau, came in and talked about trauma-informed practice and teaching, from a place of lived experience, but also from a place of being a psychologist and having worked in the field for 30 years, and a Buddhist background. So, you know, what was interesting is people asked for that, and at the time, it isn't now, but at the time, it was our best attended event, and we had 70 odd people sign up for that event, and I think it was high 50s that came on the day. So yeah, it's really, really important. Sally mentioned earlier the LinkedIn closed group. You know, the LinkedIn closed group is there for people that are in the field and not just out there in the general public like LinkedIn can be for anybody to look at. But what's really important as well is we post stuff on there. If you want to be a part of that group, and I appreciate social media is not for everybody, but if you want to be a part of that group, we ask questions like this all the time. You know, what are you looking for? What do you need? You know, the feedback that Tor and Mary just gave us, that's really interesting and great feedback. So yeah, do keep your eye out for that opportunity to tell us a bit more about what's coming up for you, what's on your mind. Let's just check the chat.
Just a question about where to access the recordings, Steph, for those CPD events.
Yeah. Do you want to take that, Sally?
Yeah, so we have a YouTube channel, and all our events are put on, uploaded onto the YouTube channel. However, when you attend an event and have paid for that event, we won't put that event up onto the YouTube channel for about 6 months. So you'll see everything that's previously put on there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. If you pay to come to an event, we have, just for clarity as well, we have a tiering ticket price, so you can sponsor someone else to come, you can make a donation, you can pay the full ticket price, you can do something in between. You know, we've really thought about that strategy around how do we make these events as accessible for everybody without it being too expensive. But if you pay to come to one of those events, you get the recording as well. So some people pay to come to the event and something happens and they can't come on the day, but they get the recording from that session on that day. As soon as it's completed, we send that out, normally within 24 hours. Mel, should we come to you? Thank you.
Hi, Steph. Thanks so much. First of all, to all of you for all the work that you're doing. It's amazing.
Thanks.
I have a thought which may or may not go anywhere, but I may as well share it and see what you think. I had an email, I don't know if other people did as well, from one of the member organisations inviting applications for mindfulness teachers. I did apply. I didn't hear anything back. I suspect they were probably inundated. But what occurred to me was you've got all of these wonderful organisations as a part of BAMBA, and then you've got all these wonderful skilled teachers who are highly trained and really keen and wanting to share the practice. Is there a way of merging the two? Because I'm with Tor, you know, very difficult to earn a living, and not using the skill set in the way that I'd like to. So yeah, is there a way of, maybe it's probably more of a question to the member organisations, but if they are already set up, can they expand, and would they go to the member community for perhaps extra staff or subcontracting, I guess is where I'm going. Thanks.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. I think, I mean, yeah, it's certainly something that we can work with the affiliate organisations to create more awareness on. There are opportunities that come up from time to time within affiliates for different roles, short term, long term. If that's something that maybe could be channeled through, for instance, BAMBA's social media to create a bit more awareness and a bit more of a reach, maybe that could be something to look at. But yeah, certainly I'll make a note of that and take that away, Mel. It could be something that we talk to affiliate organisations about. Yeah.
Can I
Thank
come
you.
in as well on that, Steph? Because I think it's a really fundamental point. I think it's a really, thanks for bringing it, Mel. I think, you know, there is the affiliate member organisations, the teacher training organisations, but actually there's also a huge number of organisations and systems and communities in the world that could really benefit from mindfulness that maybe just don't have that access to teachers. And we spoke before, Steph, not that long ago actually, about looking at how we might support placements or support teachers to access teaching spaces. So sort of beyond, you know, the affiliate members into the world, into these different communities, contexts, organisations. And I think that there is some work, and I think it is the responsibility of the TTOs actually to be supporting more systemic routes to the work, because it is very difficult for individuals to just access that teaching opportunities in that way, as you've all described. And I think that's something we all know. And I think if TTOs are training teachers, that there is a responsibility there for us to be looking at how we support systemic organisational access to teaching opportunities. And then it's also supporting those organisations, isn't it, who might not otherwise be able to find high quality teachers and teaching, or even know what that is. So I think that is something that we really could look at, Steph. So thank you for naming that, Mel.
Yeah, and Karen, thanks for popping that on there, Karen. Mindfulness UK, yeah, they do subcontract teachers, and within there are other organisations that do that too. So yeah, I think it does happen. I think if we think about inside our own community, so within affiliates and mindfulness-based organisations, it does happen. Whether those that are on the screen today see that is a different question, and I think maybe there's something around that. But there's this second part that Sophie talked to, I think, which is a deeper piece of more collaborative, engaging work that we could do, and something for us to pick up. So thanks, Mel, for raising it. It's really helpful. Thank you. Okay, let's just check the chat, because I think there might be a bit in there. Yeah. Yeah, great. Thank you. All right, good. So we're just at the halfway point. So this is a great opportunity, I think, to I'm just going to bring up one slide. And what would be really wonderful is for those that are here today and that can, is that we'll create some smaller breakout groups. And I've posed 4 questions. Now, there's 3 questions, and then there's a something else, in case you don't like those 3 questions and you want to talk about something that's bothering you rather than bothering us. So feel free to just have the conversation freely in the way that suits you. But just as a guide, we'll pop you into breakout rooms. And if I can get this to work, there we go.